So you're telling me this is how the girls turn up? Then I'ma stick with the girls.
You better talk nice to me. I'm in your head, I invest. That's a short-term fee. Got it locked, I'm the best. Well, at least that's what I think.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Girls Social.
We're back.
We're back. We're your hosts. I'm Taylor Kessler.
And I'm Sydney McPhail.
And happy New Year's Eve.
Holy moly, New Year's Eve. We hope you had a Merry Christmas.
Oh my God, yeah. I hope you guys had the best time, and I hope you got all your gifts that you wanted, and you spent time with family.
Ate all the cookies.
And watched our podcast, most importantly.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It just came out. I feel like the more that we get into these, the more I'm just going to get a little weird.
It's fine. Okay, so let's kick this off with a New Year's episode. We're going to talk all things that have happened in 2023, our ins and outs for 2024, our goals for 2024, how we're going to reach them. And of course, we're going to answer some of y'all's questions.
Excited for these ones.
Ooh, woo. Okay, let's start with highs and lows. Sid, how was your week thus far?
Well, it's been good. We went to Ohio. So I know we talked about it on the first episode, but we are from Ohio. So we went and saw our families, and both my high and my low are like correlated into that trip. My high is a little bit weird. I have two actually. So number one, just being the support and like feedback we've gotten, because when we recorded episode 2, number 1 wasn't out yet.
Yeah.
So we have 2 episodes of feedback, and I can't put into words how thankful I am. Like, we're both blown away.
Oh yeah.
I can't get over it. I'm so excited. It's definitely like not lost on me that like we wouldn't be like, it's literally them that are keeping us going. So that's definitely like high. And number 2, this is my like, kind of random one. On our flight to Ohio, there was a single mom that sat next to Ryan and I, like very small baby strapped to her chest. And the entire like flight, everyone was just helping her. And for some reason, I noted it in my thing right away. I was like, this is my high. Because everyone was being so nice to her. And I was like, why can't, like, this is the kind of stuff that needs to be recorded instead of like, that motherfucker isn't real.
Yeah.
Like that. I was just like, this is so cool. Like everyone was just like helping her get stuff. And I thought that was really, really awesome. So I wanted to make it a high. And my low is that I spilled my Stanley on my laptop and it's dead.
R.I.P. to the Apple. R.I.P. to that laptop.
Gone.
She posted a photo on her Instagram story, and Max was like, oh my God, Sydney posted a photo. I was like, I know. And she literally had bags of rice. I think what you need to do is get a big bag of rice. Like, you can't just put the rice on top of it. Like, you have to cover that entire thing in rice and let it sit there for days.
Yeah, I know. It did say to fully put it in. It was just the keyboard though. So I thought,
but the keyboard's like the main
motherboard.
A motherboard. I don't know. Where's Joe when we have these questions? Joe's gonna be like, "You're so stupid."
Yeah. Well, and like Google didn't help.
No,
so but it's fine.
Good luck. Buy a new one. Buy a new one. That's what
Google's
basically
Taylor's like,
saying.
"What are you gonna do?" And I was like, "I guess get a new laptop."
Yeah, I would.
But let's hear yours.
Oh, my high. Oh gosh, I think high would definitely be Max's entire family was here. So we hosted 10 people in our house, and that was like a high, just having everybody together, having like everything under one roof, and getting to see my family and his family like actually interact with each other for the first time ever. I was really overwhelmed about it at first because like my family has a lot of personality, and so does his. So I was like, I wonder how the personalities are going to kind of play out together. So luckily everything went really, really well. Another high of mine would be, so Max has a nephew named Asher, and he's 7. And so obviously he still believes in Santa and all these things. And so like me and May, who is Max's sister-in-law, soon to be mine as well, we literally I wore cowboy boots, and she was like spraying powdered sugar around my feet the entire time to like make it look like Santa came in and like ate the cookies and like left snow and did all these things. And like we wrote Asher a note back because we made him write a note to Santa, and like Santa responded to him. And so his like reaction waking up to that was like such pure joy. And I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to have a child. My low would be Asher's so smart that
I hate that.
Hate that he's so smart. But so May and Chase bought Max's parents a digital frame so they can go through photos and everything. You can like, our entire family can like send photos to this like one frame and everyone can see, and it kind of filters throughout the day. Well, Chase, not realizing that he accidentally sent the video of May and I doing this footprints throughout the house, and Asher saw, and we tried deleting it fast. But my favorite thing, like Asher, it's really sad because Asher came up to me and he's like, I need you to explain something to me. And I was like, yes. And he was like, why were you and May doing footprints? He's like, I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, you guys tried to delete the video, but like I've been coding since I was in kindergarten, so I brought it back. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no clue. Don't know. Don't know. And so he started to realize, and I was like, Asher, I like had to sit down with him. And I was like, Asher, like Santa's a really busy guy, and like he's got a lot going on. And you know, he called me in, like me and Santa are best friends. Like he called me in for help, and he needed some help, so I helped him out for this one. And I like tried to lie to this kid, poor kid.
Okay, so what's the takeaway?
I don't know if he believed me or not. I think he just believed me just to make me feel better about myself, but that was my low. I was like, dang it.
That's devastating.
Yeah, so make sure that you don't record it and put it on any frames for your children to see if you're going to do that next year.
Also, if your kids are watching, sorry.
Sorry, Santa is real. The spirit of Christmas is real.
He needed help.
1,000%.
It's that simple. It's okay. I did that too. My nephew still believes in Santa, and they do Elf on a Shelf.
Oh no!
Ryan,
did you touch the elf?
I didn't touch him, but Ryan does not like Elf on a Shelf.
Why?
I don't know. I really don't know. But he basically has said that like when we have kids, that's not something we're gonna do.
I'm
override that.
I'm gonna fight him.
Yeah, but I made a comment in front of my nephew and was like, "Yeah, Ryan said that we're not gonna do Elf on a Shelf," and my sister was like, "Shh."
Elfie.
I was like, oh yeah, like
I even thought about getting an elf for Max.
I'm gonna do that next year.
I'm gonna like make her like this just like corrupt little elf, and I'm just gonna do crazy things to Max next year for Christmas. He's gonna listen to this podcast, but yeah, there's gonna be an elf arriving to our house next year. I'm just gonna do some like crazy things with it.
We can't help it. Santa sent him.
I don't know what to tell you. So when my kids ask, I'm gonna be like, Elfie has been around with us for years.
That's a good.
Elfie has been with me forever.
Stay tuned next year.
Stay tuned next year. We're going to do some crazy things with elves. Okay. So let's get into things that we did and accomplished and learned in 2023. Sid.
Oh gosh, you want me to kick it off?
Yeah, kick it off, girlfriend.
Well, you know, being 100% honest, 2023, the past couple of years for me have been slow down years.
Yeah.
I think more like healing years. And even admitting that's a little bit difficult for me, but I do feel really good about where things are going. I think that for me, a big thing that I learned, and it was just like healing and in a sense of accomplishing. I think it was like accepting that and leaning into it instead of trying to fight it. I'm a big brush it under the rug person. So I really leaned into like healing and figuring out who I am, hence being away from social media and just focusing on myself, focusing on my business privately, which I think is like really going to be helpful in 2024. I think a big thing for me, accomplishment-wise, is this. I wanted to start a podcast for years.
I know. The fact that we actually did it and like kind of went after it, no matter what, I think is crazy. Because, I mean, I was like, we always wanted to do it, but it was like taking the initiative to actually like sit down and be like, okay, we're going to film this first episode and we're going to see how it goes.
And we've been so consistent.
Yay! We did it. No, I understand that. I think the years where you are more vulnerable, like how you said, I think those are the years that are so much more important in your life. Because yes, there are years where you're going to have great success and you're going to do so many great things, but like to get to those years, you have to do the nitty gritty. You have to do the hard work of like finding who you are, being vulnerable, like you're in the trenches, like those years shouldn't ever go unnoticed, I feel like, because those are the years where growth is the most like substantial, if that makes sense.
And I feel like so often, like at the end of the year, everyone's talking about like the things they did and the accomplishments they had. And, you know, this is the first time that I've really sat down and been like, it's okay. Instead of being hard on myself about it and being like, okay, well, I don't have this like list of massive accomplishments, but the fact that I am ending this year and like genuinely better than I've ever been, and like I feel really good about that, to me is a huge win in and of itself, even though it's not like a physical like
1,000%.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
No, I love that. And I mean, I kind of feel the same, not this year so much, but like in past years, like especially like dating Max and like in the friend circle that we're in, and they're all so like, there was like a point where Max, when we first started dating, I felt like I wasn't enough, like I didn't have enough value, or I wasn't accomplishing as many things that I needed to, because I was surrounded by so many friends that like had their own businesses and were doing so many great things. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm a failure because I'm not doing those good things either. Like I'm not accomplishing that. I don't have my own business that I'm working on. Like I don't have all these things. Like I remember I told Max, I was like, I haven't really accomplished much. And he's like, Taylor, you were literally Miss Texas USA. Like you have 2 degrees. Like you've competed in so many pageants. Like you're a model. Like you do all these things. Like you have accomplished so much. And I was like, okay, when you put it that way, yeah. But like, I guess because we are so much younger than a lot of the people in our friend group. I forget about that all the time. Like I forget that like we're in a completely like different point of our life. Not different because like we're in this all together, but like I used to be like, oh, I don't have a business. Like I'm not that successful, and it's okay. Like that's not what I'm good at. And like I'm not supposed to have a business. And if I am, like one day, then great. But
well, yeah, and that is such a good point. You just like hit the nail on the head, because even like with Ryan and Rem, who I was always around and still I'm always around, you know, they're way older than me. And so I forget because I'm just always around it. And then I'm like, oh yeah. Like
I think it's good too to have somebody like you that is like, you are closer to my age, obviously. So it's like great because I'm like, okay, I don't feel like the only one left. Like, I mean, you are successful in your own right.
I get what you're saying.
But like sometimes I feel like I'm so much younger, not younger than these people, but like I feel like I haven't accomplished as much. But then I forget, I'm like, they have literally like 7, 8, 10 years ahead of me, and I am fine at where I'm at.
I always, and because these are conversations that Ryan and I have had so many times over the years, and he'll be like, this is where I was at when I was 26. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's like what Max says. Max was like, Taylor, at 27, like I was working, like I think at that point when he was my age, like he was just about to quit his corporate job. So we're doing great.
We're thriving.
We're doing fine. What else do you have going on?
I have okay, so for me, because I didn't have this list of like I accomplished this and this and this, and while I did have accomplishments, I more so just had like some lessons. One of them is actually like you kind of recently taught me this, and that's that vulnerability isn't weakness.
Yeah.
Because for me, that's for some reason always been ingrained. Like to be honest about the fact that you're struggling and to even like say it out loud, I was like, no. Like I have to have it all together. Mm-hmm. And you said that I think in the first episode, and I was like, oh my God, that's such a good one. So I wrote that down because I was like, okay.
No, but it's good that like I'm glad that something I said like kind of resonates with you on that, because it is so important. I think people like a lot of times are like, you need to pick yourself up and shake it off, and like yes you do, but like it's okay to be sad. It's okay to go through the emotions and feelings that you're feeling. Like, do not ignore that feeling of being sad and like vulnerable, because there's so much strength that can come from it.
And I feel like for me, I think the big thing, and not even just a 2023 thing, it's like the past couple of years, like 2022 and 2023. 2022, I tried to run from it.
Yeah.
And 2023, I actually felt it. And
you
I was
accepted
like, okay.
it, and now you are going to grow from it.
That's right. And I know it's cheesy, and everyone's always like, oh, like this was my year of healing, and now it's my time to like survive. But I really do feel that way.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. Like 2022 was definitely a year of like healing for me. Like I healed a lot of things like with myself mentally, emotionally, like dating Max. Like he taught me like a lot about myself and like how I should be loved and how I should be treated by people. And I thank God for him every day, because like he did help me heal in a lot of ways. But at the same time, like this last year for me, I feel like was a year of kind of like putting myself first and like understanding my feelings and emotions and acting on my feelings and emotions and allowing like my feelings to come first, like in certain situations. But I mean, 2023, I think for me was like it was a trying year, but it was a very good year overall. I
was gonna say, when I was like jotting down notes, I was like, I don't want to speak for Taylor, but she got engaged.
Yeah, I did. That was probably like the highlight of my 2023. Obviously, like getting to spend the rest of my life with my partner is going to be insane. Like we talk about it all the time. We're always like, when we have kids and when we do this, and I'm like, I can't wait to have kids with you. I can't wait to get married. Like we're like joked about like, let's just go get married. And
right now,
just do it. And I was like, don't play with me because I will. I mean, we want to have the wedding, but
you could always have like a party later, you know.
I'm a big party thrower. But
you're also such a good event thrower. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for your wedding because I know that I'm sure it's stressful.
There's a lot of pressure.
I was peeking at the questions, and there were some questions about wedding planning.
Oh, God. I'm like, drink wine.
Yeah.
And breathe. Just breathe when you see those prices. Just breathe.
Oh gosh, I'm so nervous for that because I don't know anything about wedding.
I'll be able to walk you through it.
I'll be like, Taylor.
Yeah, because it's gnarly for sure. But okay, I think one of the things that I also loved this year was that I said it at the beginning of the year for 2023, and I told Max, I was like, this year I really want to be very like intentional with the people that are around me. And I think that I really have done a good job of being intentional with like my relationship with you and making sure that like you and I have a good relationship and that like we're there for each other and we talk and we communicate. And then Max and I, like, our communication is so important to us because that's like our number one thing. We talk all the time and like we never fight, we never argue. Like, there's not obviously times where I get frustrated at Max, but we communicate before anything escalates. We don't allow ourselves to get angry with each other. We don't allow ourselves to like speak negatively to each other.
I love that.
Yeah, it's like it was something we both really wanted to work on like before we even started dating, and then like we don't go to bed upset.
That's a big one.
It's a big one. But I do check-ins with Max, and I'm like, and he always says, he's like, it always comes around that time of the month, and I'm like, yeah. But I'm like, I just want to know, like, how are we doing? Like, it's just who I am as a person to check in like that. And it's like, how are we doing? How are you and I? Like, is there anything we can fix? Like, how do you see our relationship going? Like, I always do these little check-ins once a month with him to, like, get an idea and be like, is there anything, like, we could work on? And he always tells me, I wish you went on more walks.
She's got her Apple Watch now.
I have my Apple Watch, so I'm tracking my steps because I'm like, oh God, I've been lazy. I haven't been walking. But now I walk all the time because I have my Apple Watch. But
so when he says go on more walks, is that like when he walks dude?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, he always walks dude in the morning and at night. And like sometimes I try to get out of the walks because I'm really cold and I don't like being cold. And so when it's chilly outside, I'm like, no. Like, I want to be on the bed. I want to be in the couch. Like, I want to be on the couch or in the bed. Like, I don't want to be like freezing, but no. And it means so much to him when I do it. So I'm doing more walks with him.
Yeah. So because we have 3, it's impossible to walk them all 3.
I couldn't imagine.
No, it's always a disaster. And, but I do the same thing. Ryan will be like, do you want to walk the dogs? And I'm like, He's like, I know you don't want to, but like we literally can't do it without each other.
Yeah, you're like, we have to go together.
So I'm like, I guess.
I love that though. But yeah, so I think just being intentional with relationships, I was really intentional with the people around me and trying to make time and effort for like my friends from college and like my sorority sisters and like the 2 girls that I talked about last podcast, and like making sure I have time to like see them and talk to them a little bit more was something I really wanted to work on. Because like I am friends with a lot of people, but I want those relationships to be healthy and like important to me. Like, I don't want them to just be like friends because
they're around.
Yeah.
I love that. And you know what? I'd have to agree with that too, because I isolated myself so much for the past couple of years. And honestly, like, I know I've said it so many times, but you brought my walls down. And now one of my goals moving forward is like nurturing that.
Yeah. I love that. We're so cutesy.
I did also. I asked Ryan because sometimes other people notice changes in you.
Yeah.
So I asked him if there was anything that he's noticed this year, and he asked me to say this. He said that I'm much better at speaking up and standing up for myself, and then also being more confident in my decision making and not second guessing myself. He said, you're still a go with the flow person, but you're very direct in what you want. And then he said, it's hard to perfect an angel. And he said, I want you to say that. And I was like, like, I'm gonna cry.
Ryan.
I'm literally like typing this out before I came over.
I'm like crying. It's fine.
I was like, okay.
Ryan, that's so sweet. You are an angel. He speaks so highly of you, and it's so sweet. Like, it's so endearing, and I love it.
Especially because he's so scary.
But I know.
He's like, wow.
I always joke about how, I mean, we threw up the photo of him at the first, but like I always like, Ryan's like a bear, but like a teddy bear, because he's so mean and so angry, but he's like even with me, like Ryan is so kind to me and like cares about my feelings and like checks in on me and like makes sure I'm okay. And I'm like, yeah, I'm great. Thanks, Ryan. Like he's such a good person.
He really, really is. And I've
like
said that
people.
for years. I'm like, to just know his heart, because for a long time, like my friends didn't really know him. So they're just like, he just seems like an ass. And I'm like, no, if you know him, he's not. He's the biggest teddy bear.
Yeah, because like when you see him from like outward perspective, you think he's just like this big guy that like all he's like a gym bro and like is tatted up.
Yeah.
But he is so like, he's so soft. Like, I mean, I would never mess with the man.
No.
But I would never mess with this man. But he's just so soft natured and so caring. And like, even like his, like, I love seeing the way him and Max like kind of not react with each other, but like he cares so much about his friendship with Max and like vice versa. Like Max cares so much about his friendship with Ryan, but like Ryan really truly pours into his relationship with Max. And I think that's so important. Like there was a point where it's like Max was like separating from people and there was like times where like people were just not around as much, and we all get busy in this world and it's fine. But like during that time, like Ryan really poured into his relationship with Max, and I think he saw how genuine Ryan is as like a friend, and I think it was really important for him, and he needed it at that time.
Yeah, that was because I remember all that happening, and Ryan and I very much so were like we were so behind you and Max on that like it was. We were like, all right, well, if people want to be like
be that way, then you got us.
See ya.
And we do everything together now, so I love that. I think too, something for 2023 for me is focusing on the good. Like there's so many times where it's like negative things have happened and like bad things have happened, and I just don't allow it to affect me mentally anymore. I'm like, I've always said, especially with pageants, is you can't focus on the things you can't control. Like don't focus on anything that like you can't change the outcome of. And that used to be a huge ruler of my life, but I've really truly, like as my faith grew and like as like I grew to like know myself, I was like, I need to start focusing on that again. Like I need to focus on only the things that I have control of, which is like myself, my relationship with people, and like what I can do to like be a better person, be a better girlfriend, like do more at work, like just as much as I can, just pour into those facets of my life.
That's a huge one, because I think that by nature we tend to, like as humans, look at the negative.
Oh yeah.
But the good deserves as much and definitely more attention. But we kind of hyperfixate, and I'm guilty of that.
On the negative things, yeah. There was a point where I was like, I was trying to like perfect a lot of things, and I'm like, who cares? Like I need to stop trying to be this perfectionist of a person, because I am like OCD. I do have control tendencies. Like I am a perfectionist, but I think that comes with like how I was raised and sports and pageants. So in my mind, I'm like, everything has to be a perfect way. And it's like, that's not me. Like I'm not perfect. Like not everything I do has to be perfect.
Like at the end of the day, you're still a human being.
Yeah.
And that's really big too, because I'm a perfectionist and I like to have control, but I'm also, and I'm coming out of it, but like the people pleasing, and I am a go with the flow person.
Yeah.
That used to be a big thing with Ryan and I, because I genuinely am just like, whatever works for everyone else. And Ryan was like, you're just saying that. And I'm like, no, I really, really don't care. Like, because I don't have a preference. So whatever everybody else wants, I'm okay with. And if I do have a preference, I'll speak up on it.
Oh, I'm the same way. Like I prefer Max to make decisions for me, but like if I don't like that, like when I say make decisions, it comes more to like what we want for dinner or like
Same.
where we want to go, what we want to watch. And it's like, if I don't want that or I don't want to watch that, then I'll speak up on it. But I'm like, please, just
like don't make me choose.
Choose dinner tonight, please.
Well, and especially when you're making decisions all day, which I'm sure the guys probably feel the same way. But it's like, dude, don't make me choose something else.
I'm like, please, I can't do it today. Today's not my day.
I just want to point this one out because you said one of my lessons was it's not that serious. And then I put in parentheses, literally any of it.
Like literally. I'm like, at the end of the day, it's all going to go away.
Like everything is going to work out.
Oh, yeah. I thought somebody was coming in for a second. I feel like I used to focus so much on like certain things. And I'm like, is this like, if it's not going to matter in 5 years from now, then I can't put that much energy into it.
Well, and everything feels like it's the end of the world whenever you're living in it. And I always think back to like high school, because in high school something would happen and I'd be like, oh, this is the end of the world. And I think about it now and I'm like, I forgot that happened.
I'm like, I can't even recall all the bad things that have happened to me. So I'm like, at this point, I'm like, just add it to the list.
Someone will bring it up and I'm like, oh yeah, that did. Yeah, that did.
Yeah. I feel like 2023 was such a strange year too, because I feel like so much happened, but like it went by so quickly, if that makes sense.
Like a blink.
Yeah, like I feel like so many things like happened, but if that feels like it wasn't this year, it feels like it was so long ago for me.
Yeah, because if you think about it, we really didn't start like getting super close until like, what was it, July-ish?
I would say May.
May-ish, yeah. Because like we would
Memorial
sometimes
Day.
go to dinner and then we started to like really hang out all the time.
Yeah. And we started doing like everything.
Literally
dinners all the time. We like hang out all the time. I'd throw parties all the time. When I say parties, they're not like ragers, guys. It's literally me making dinner or like ordering dinner and like them coming over and like having a glass of wine and like hanging out. The only time it's like a rager was like Halloween.
Yeah. That was a night.
That was a night.
What's really funny about the Halloween party is that I was so hungover and I didn't feel like I was drunk that night.
Oh, I was so unwell the next day.
I was not well. And you guys recorded Don't Be Sour podcast.
Oh, I thought I was dying.
And I was like, how is she doing that?
If you watch me, like, I think it was still Max's lighting. Like, go watch the episode. It was a great episode. It's like our first episode being engaged. And like, go watch the video. But the lighting, I think, was so god awful. And I think I can't just blame the lighting because I looked god awful. Like, my face looked like orange and brown.
Oh,
I was like,
stop.
Max, you did me dirty on that. But I think it's truly because I was probably still drunk doing my makeup.
You're just like, not
I was
okay.
Like, trying to
We've all been there.
I was trying to blend as best as I could.
You're beating your face.
I'm like, oh. And my face was so dry. And I was like, oh, I hate this. I was like, do we have to do this episode? And he's like, Taylor, this episode's going up tomorrow. And I was like,
us.
Okay. Yeah, literally us. We're filming this like 2 days before it goes up.
But it's all in the name of the people.
All of the name. But it was Christmas. So it's like, the thing is like, Sid went out of town. I had family here for like 9 days. Mm-hmm. So it's like, we wanted to focus on like our friends and our families like and holiday at that time. So we obviously let time pass us. So we didn't really get to sit down and do an episode. But we're doing it. We are doing it.
We're doing it. And now we're back.
We're back.
The craziness is over.
Yeah, now we're here. Okay, so what was like one of your favorite things of 2023?
I think that for me, so I have my top 3 are, number 1, I really built and like established a relationship with God. Mm-hmm. I've really loved that for myself because anytime I'm stressed, I'm just like, give it to God. So I pray every night. Number 2 is the people are going to be like, we get it. But you, really just like you, this podcast, this friendship, I'm so freaking thankful for that. And a big one for me is just like feeling happy again. I know that sounds silly, but things got really dark for a while. And then, what was my third? Oh, my relationship with Ryan. I feel like we've always been like great. But I'm just really, really, really happy with where we are. And just like you said with Max, like we've never argued, but our communication has come a really long way. And we're just like, he is so my person. He always has been. I've always known it. But this year has been a really great year with Ryan.
I love that. I love you. I love all these things. These are all great.
What are yours?
Okay, well, number 1 obviously is getting engaged.
Duh.
Like that was obviously one of the highlights of my year. Like it couldn't have happened in a better way. Like, yes, the day started off horrible for me. Like my Instagram got deleted. Like so much went down. And I like almost canceled my own proposal. And I didn't know. Not knowing. And I was like, I really don't want to do this picnic tonight, Max. Like I'm tired. Like I had gone through it. But I'm so glad that it happened. And when it happened, because it truly did make my day and life better. And like it being on our land, obviously, like getting our land, like the fact that we're setting up these like kind of like pillars and blocks for our future is like,
I was going to say Ryan and I bought land.
Yeah, y'all bought land. We all bought land this year. So it's like really cool to like think that like, oh, next year, like we'll be married by this time. We're going to be married and like maybe trying to have a kid.
Babies. Oh, gosh.
Maybe trying to have a kid at that point in time, but we're going to start building our house and all that fun stuff. So that's like my number 1. I think number 2 is I spent a lot of time with people that I loved, and like the relationships that I have now are so strong and like are amazing, and like they fill me as much as I fill them. And I really worked on that this year. Like I really wanted to put into the people around me. And then number 3, I traveled. So like if I had to write down all the things that I did this year, not even just travel, but like with work and like events and like everything I had going on, like I feel like I lived a million lives this one year. I did so much this one year, but we traveled like crazy. Like I think even in the summer, like there was like 3 months we weren't even home.
It was, because it was around
July.
your birthday.
Yeah. There were so many times where we just weren't home, and like, but we were like going on adventures with each other, and that was so fun. And like we really got to know each other, and I think it made our relationship a lot deeper, because like when you're traveling with a person for weeks on end, and like you don't have like in life we have these breaks where we're not together because like I go to the office or he goes to the office, and like we're just not together 24/7. And like we were literally together for like 3 weeks at
nonstop,
like at a single time. And so it was really cool to like do that with him.
Well, and traveling is stressful, at least for us.
Oh yeah.
Like it just brings out like all of the anxiety. And so I think that doing something like that with someone where it's stressful, but you still have fun, and being gone for that long too.
Oh, being gone from dude and like our life like was really sad. Like I hated leaving dude because he's literally my child and I love him more than anything. Besides Max, obviously. So it was fun. My leg was falling asleep, so I had to move it. I was like, I need to stretch
out, sis.
But yeah, I feel like 2023 overall was a very good year. I feel like it was one of those years of growth.
I agree. I 100% agree.
I learned a lot about myself. As Kylie Jenner says, it was a year of realizing.
I always say, you look like mommy, baby.
You look like mommy, baby. Stormy, baby.
Bear attacked Theo.
Oh, no.
Yesterday. It was very a short moment, but Theo didn't fight back. Like, he literally just let it happen. And I had his leash, so I just, like, threw it and was like, run.
Theo's like a...
He's a big boy.
He's a boss.
He's a big puss, though. And Ryan always says that he, like, his personality is like me.
Yeah.
And I did that. Like, he attacked, and, like, Theo literally just stood there, and I was like, that would be me if someone attacked me.
You look like mommy,
yeah,
baby.
so I was like, Theo, you look like mommy, baby.
I love it. Except Willow's your child.
Yeah, she's my girl.
That's your girl. Okay, so what are your goals for 2024?
Girl, do I have some. So my number one thing, because I'm a people pleaser and I want to be liked by everyone, is I want to be okay with not being everyone's cup of tea and just like being authentic and being myself. I also want to continue building and strengthening my relationship with God, because that's still kind of not, I've always believed in God. But in the past, I would only look to God when I was hurting or struggling. Mm-hmm. And I want my relationship with God to be just as strong in the bad times and the good times. That's a big one. And same with Ryan, not that we have really bad times, but continuing to grow with him and build with him for our future. Get back on social media. That's a big one.
We all want it.
Yes.
Just do it.
Getting back on social media and putting myself out there. Of course, growing my business. And specifically, I put, I want to continue to help women like find themselves, find confidence, and really just get into fitness in a way that makes sense for them. That's something that I'm so passionate about. And I also want to get back into music.
I think you should.
I've always wanted to learn to play piano, so I think I'm going to do that.
I'm
going to teach myself.
I love that. I love all those things.
Yeah.
Okay, so how are you going to accomplish these?
Well, for one, with the piano, I already have kind of like looked at Guitar Center, and I found one. I kind of have a plan of action for that. It's kind of a simple one. I think that for my business, getting back on social media and like talking about the things that I'm passionate about is obviously going to help with that, because the more that I can spread the message and, help people, the more that Flourish is going to grow, and I'm going to be able to help women. And then as far as Ryan is concerned and all of that, I think just being really intentional with it. I think I'm going to implement the like monthly check-in.
Yeah.
Because even though like Ryan and I seem to always be on the same page, and people are always like, why don't you guys fight? And we just don't. I think that's really important to be like, hey, am I missing anything?
Yeah.
Like, is there anything that you need from me that I'm not giving you? Because we do get busy. We're humans. We get busy in our own lives and our own things. But when you're with someone, even in friendships, I think like just checking in, like, hey,
seeing how
are we doing okay? Yeah.
Like, we've been distant. How are we doing?
Yeah, just check in.
I love that.
I forget. And then I think with social media, I'm gonna be really intentional and hold myself accountable in the sense of, I'm big on when you set goals, making them action steps, not just like, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, how are you going to do that? So for me with social media, maybe like having like a goal of how many posts a week I want to put up, or, just, I try to be present in situations, but maybe just, like pull my phone out and like snapping a quick pic, things like that, so that it's something that I have to do. And if I don't do it, it's not going to happen. But then it falls on me, instead of just being like, well, I didn't grow my social media because like whatever. It's like, no, like you didn't do what you needed to do.
Yeah. 1,000%. I feel like I'm the same way. Like a lot of those things are kind of things that I want to work on too. Obviously, my relationship with Ryan. I'm kidding. I'm not getting into music either. I think one of the big things that for me in 2024 is I want to finally like make actions towards the things that I say I'm going to do. If I'm going to do it, I want to do it. And I really am good at doing that. Like if I'm going to put my mind to something, I want to do it. But I've been saying and joking about like doing a YouTube for so long now. And I just need to do it. And I never wanted to step on toes because Max is the YouTube guy. And like, I don't ever want him to like feel like I'm going after something that he is or he does. Because I feel like we would live in two different realms. Because I do want to do obviously like lifestyle vlogs, but my vlogs are so much more laid back and like just like chill, and obviously more beauty and makeup related focus and like health and wellness, not so much just like life and business vlogs.
Yeah.
So something like that. I've been saying it for so long, and I feel like I've also like I am good at being on social media, but I have made such like a step back of like I used to post so much and I don't post as much anymore. And like I do want to make like intentional social media posts. Like I want to be more open on my social media and talk about a lot more. And then this is weird, but I want to stop having expectations for things.
I think that's really, really good.
I hurt my feelings so much, and like not with Max or anything. Like Max meets more than all my expectations. Like he is like the most thoughtful, like thought out person. Like he thinks about things so much, and like he blows my expectations out of the water. But like even just like my expectations for myself and like for people and events and things that I'm doing, like I put so much pressure on myself to like meet this certain energy, and like sometimes things do go wrong, and sometimes things can go bad, and like even like with our wedding, like I feel like so many people have like this expectation of what it should be. Like I think people are thinking that this wedding is going to be like the $59 million wedding that this girl just had. And I don't want that expectation. Like I just want it to be a good time for like my friends and family, and then like obviously
most importantly you.
Yeah,
it's your wedding.
I know, but like I care more about the people than like myself, because like I'm gonna have a good time regardless. Like I'm getting married. But I want everybody else to have a great time, and so I'm trying to lessen my expectations for myself and for the things around me.
That's going to require being very intentional, but I love that.
Yeah,
because then number one, you're going to be way less stressed.
Yeah.
And also you'll enjoy things a lot more in releasing that control.
Yeah. And I am a control freak, so I'm like trying to do my best to do that. I think I started trying to, especially with this holiday season and like his entire family getting here, and I was like, I'm going to make it the best Christmas they've ever had. And I'm like, things go wrong, things go bad. So it's like, why am I getting upset about that? I shouldn't be. Like, it's okay. Like, it's normal. Like, it's a normal life. Like, I should not be mad about that at all. And then I also, what did I say? I think I want to do more check-ins with myself.
Yes.
I think I need to take some more time for myself with like, whether it be like little daily routines of checking in. Like I think I want to, like how you said you do journals.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be so like into that, and I used to love writing, and I used to love just like putting down my thoughts and like the things that are happening and explaining my days and like being able to go back and see that. And especially when I was Miss Texas, I used to journal every day.
Mm-hmm.
And like it was really cool to like go back and see like what happened to me, or like what I went through, and I like would forget half the things that I went through. So I kind of want to get back into that.
I love journaling. I couldn't recommend it enough. And I was someone that was like, that's so silly. And then when I started doing it, same as you, it's like I still have my journals, especially when I was like in the trenches.
Yeah.
And it's not fun, I wouldn't say, but like it's interesting to look back on those and be like, wow, like you survived. Like you did it, and like everything ended up being okay, because I think when you're in something like that, and even good times, like looking back and be like, oh, I loved this day. I love journaling. Get yourself, and you can get yourself like a cutesy little, I got like colorful pens. And,
a little notebook.
A little cutesy notebook.
I think also, I've said it multiple times, and we talked about it in the first podcast, and I've talked about it basically my whole life, but I am going to be in or on Sports Illustrated one damn way or another.
Woo! I love this for you.
I have been talking about it for so long, and I've wanted to do it for so long, and I allowed fear to get in the way of that I wouldn't make it, or I wasn't good enough, or my body's not right this year. Like, I need to be in better shape. Like, I'm allowing these like thoughts in my head to like get in the way of a goal that I've wanted for so long, that I have let years pass, like 3 or 4, maybe even 5 years of me wanting to do this.
Doesn't matter how long it's been.
I know. And I'm like, I just need to go after it. I need to do it. So that is going to be a goal for me this year.
Not to get off track, but what's the process of that? Like, what does that look like?
So they do like a rookie search. So normally you'll send in like a video of like who you are and why you should be Sports Illustrated rookie, and like why they should want you, and just like a little video of me talking and like running around in a bikini, I guess.
You'll kill that though.
But I just used to let things get to my head, and I was like, oh, no, I can't do it. Like, I shouldn't. And Max is so supportive of it. He's like, I will literally film it for you. Like, we'll do a whole production for you. And I'm like, okay. Like, so I've been saying it for so long, and I'm going to do it this year. Like, I'm really going to go after things that I want.
Well, if there's anything that like we can do to help, please, like if we can vote, I'm literally going to have like my laptop, my new laptop. Like, I'm going to be like voting. It's going to be a whole operation.
Sydney's going to be like the person that has like the big screen, and she's like, in her like big seat.
And then like, I will be 100% behind you on that, because I do think you like 100% believe you can do it. You can do anything you set your mind to.
Thanks.
It's actually kind of been something that I've thought about quite a bit, because you mentioned it in the first episode.
Yeah.
I was like, she needs to do that.
I know.
She needs to do it.
I've wanted to do it for so long, and like I've talked to like the people that like do the Sports Illustrated, and like I have friends that have made the have been Sports Illustrated rookies and have been part of like the swim search, and like I have friends that like were the cover girls of Sports Illustrated, and they're like, Taylor, why have you not done it? Like, you are silly. Like, you are so silly. Like, be yourself. You're so goofy. Like, they would love your personality. You're so positive. And I'm like, okay, fine.
And you're so lovable.
Sometimes. Some people hate it. Some people love it. We're not everybody's cup of tea.
They're silly. That's right. That's exactly right.
We're not everybody's cup of tea.
And we have to be okay with that.
Okay, do you want to go over ins and outs of 2024?
You kick that off.
For 2024?
I know you have some.
I have a whole list. Do you want me to just rattle them off?
Yeah, because
and like me
I have
talk?
one. And
Tell them what yours is, because it's good.
Mine is kindness, but kindness should never be out. I just think that like, listen, guys, it's been a crazy couple of years since the pandemic, and I just feel like we don't realize that so many people are struggling, and just the smallest act of kindness, smiling at a stranger, helping someone with their groceries, like any kindness is just so important.
Yeah.
And as someone who struggled, like the smallest act of kindness, like
can make anyone.
It's my Roman Empire. I think about it all the time.
Oh yeah, it's my Roman Empire too. Like Max and I saw a girl like on Christmas Eve, and she was like bagging groceries, and there was this woman like trying to get cigarettes, and like literally belittled this girl because she grabbed the wrong cigarette box. Well, she said, oh, I want a carton of cigarettes, and so the girl thought she wanted a whole box of them. And moral of the story, this woman started yelling at this girl, and like I could see her like start to cry, and I just like I felt so bad, and I was like, I'm so sorry. Like once the woman left, I was like, I'm so sorry. Like there was no reason for that. Like it's the holiday time. Like she probably just doesn't have patience. Like it's nothing to do with you. Like you're doing great. Like I felt so bad, and it's like I could never be that person that like doesn't have patience or kindness for somebody else,
because you just don't know. Like maybe they're just having a bad day.
Yeah.
But
okay. Mine, there's a whole list. I don't know if you can see all of this, but I'll post them on social medias too. I think I'm going to make like a post about it. So my ends are self-care nights, because I think it's important to take care of myself. I mean, I do skincare and everything every night, but like I want to be intentional with it and like take my time, like do like a good shower, good face mask, like use all my electronics that I have that I spent so much money on that I never really use.
Me.
Never really use it. I need to. I want to start drinking more water.
Love this for you.
Because like I don't drink enough water, and I should. Like Max is like, how much water have you drank today? I'm like, none.
You're like, I had a sip this morning.
Yeah. I use my hydro jug thing, and that makes me drink a lot more, and I need to do better at it. Dinner parties instead of going out.
Love that.
Because we don't really go out. Like, we don't go to clubs. Like, there's like the occasional night that we go to a club, and that's like if we're at an event and we have to go out. But we don't like ever really, we're not like club rats or whatever. But I think dinner parties would be so fun, like just with our friends, like having a reason, like besides a holiday, to like just come around and spend time with each other. We want to start trying to make one new meal every week.
Love that.
Like trying a new recipe.
One of mine was Ryan and I are really bad at like, I make dinner, but it's always just like something air fried. I told him
we should do a cooking class.
Yes, because I love cooking.
Yeah.
And I know you're a good cook.
I love cooking.
I told Ryan that in 2024, like we want to dial in our diet. And I was like, I still want to like intentionally make you dinner every night.
Yeah.
I don't want to pop something in the air fryer and be like,
here it is.
bone apple tea.
But I do love a good air fryer. Let me
Same.
tell you.
Oh yeah.
You can make really good air fryer salmon. I'll show you. Yes. Intentional relationships. This is still something that we're working on, obviously, but I think it's really important to like have relationships that have meaning to you and that aren't just there for fluff. Like, I really want to hone in on like the relationships that support me and are important to me. Daily walks.
We talked about, was this before we started recording?
Yeah.
Max was saying, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, we were recording.
We
Sorry.
were recording.
We've had a lot of conversations.
We're losing it. Daily walks, because I want to just go on walks, and like I feel like it's a good time to like, even though Max and I are together, but like clear my mind and like one with nature, I guess. Okay, then these are kind of like little things.
Okay.
Signature scent, which I kind of already have a signature scent. I really love like this kind of like classic clean girl aesthetic. Like, I'm sick of like the loud luxury. Like, I don't want to be like trendy, you know, I want to be classic.
Yes.
Which I have a signature scent. There's only one perfume that I can wear, and I wear it all the time, but it's so expensive. And then a capsule wardrobe. I am really bad at this because not that I buy so much clothes anymore, but I have so much clothes and I just don't know what to do with them. And like a lot of them I just don't wear anymore, and I need to get rid of those things. It's really sad. Like, I went through my closet upstairs, because I have one upstairs and one downstairs. And I went through the one upstairs and I was like, oh my God, I forgot that I had all this stuff. I literally forgot it.
My closet situation is a really sad one because it's not really a closet. It's literally just like, you know, those really small ones where you open the French doors and it's just like a thing.
Yeah.
So I need to go through that. I want to replace my entire wardrobe, that's going to be expensive. I just feel like my set, like just like you said, I just want like staple,
pieces,
high quality stuff instead of
like in this year, instead of buying a lot of like cheaper things, buying more luxe items that I'm gonna have like forever, that are good use products. Like, because it's like I'm so like, I don't buy cheaper clothing, but there's pieces that I'm like are like trendy that I will wear once and never wear again.
Or like you wash it and it just looks not well anymore.
Yeah. That's it literally disintegrates in the washer.
I'm just like, okay, well, I'm so glad I bought it.
Literally. Being selective. So I want to be selective about everything in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to be able to select my friends, the people around me, the things that we're doing, the things I'm putting into my body, the things I'm putting out into the world. Like, I'm going to be very selective about the things that I allow in and allow out of my life.
Well, and here's the thing. I like pivoting back to taking time to like find yourself and heal and like to get to the versions that we're at right now. Once you get there, you are so protective of like what you've built and what you've created. So that's a good one.
Yeah.
Being really selective.
Yeah. I feel like it's so important too. And I feel like a lot of people haven't done that. And now it's like a good thing to like kind of like check in on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My outs.
I am so ready for this.
Impulsive purchases.
Okay. I feel like that's one that I've gotten really good at this year.
I've gotten better, but I'm still like, if I want something, I buy it.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what the thing is for me.
I'm this way with everything. I'm like, if I want, I'm going to buy it. This is how it works. Except I haven't bought my Aura ring, and I want one so badly.
I
don't know why I haven't bought it yet.
I just realized that these weren't tight. Okay, that's fine.
We're fine. It's fine.
No, I will say, if anyone has an Aura ring, drop all the information. I just got one. Ryan got me one for Christmas, and I already am obsessed with it.
Yeah, I need to buy one.
Because it'll tell you, like, every single morning after I wake up, since I, like, the 2 days, I check and it'll tell me, like, how ready I am to work out and, like, how well I slept and, like, your ovulation, all that stuff.
All the fun things, all the girly things. Okay, worrying over what others think.
I wish I could shout it from the rooftops.
Yeah, there's no point to it. Again, like protecting your peace. We talked about it last episode.
Mm-hmm.
You can't live your life for other people. You got to live it for yourself.
That was one of mine.
It's literally.
I think one of mine was like not being what everyone else wants me to be.
Yeah.
Being who I want me to be.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, like you're the only person that like has to be happy with yourself. You're the only person you're going to have left.
When you have to live. Yeah. And I think I learned that the hard way is being what everybody else wanted me to be. No matter what, like there's going to be a backfire. If you do what you want, someone's going to be upset. But then if you do what other people want, you're going to upset other people. But then you're going to have to be like, man, I didn't even want that.
Yeah, like I didn't choose this for me. Okay, this one kind of goes along with that one again. Things that no longer serve me, whether it be people in my life, things that I'm eating, the things that I'm listening to, the things like I'm taking in, like to my body, like supplements. Like I really want to be more intentional of like what I put in my body, like when it comes to food. I mean, we eat healthy and everything, and like we do eat very healthy, and like I mean, I have an occasional sweet treat, obviously, but like supplements, taking care of my health, like my mental health, like even like things that I'm reading, social media, like. Okay, this isn't on my list, but I'm following.
I was waiting for you to say it. A social media clean out.
Yeah. Like unfollowing, like it doesn't have to be like friends, but like people that no longer serve my life, like no longer like feed me good energy. Like even like the people that I used to follow that like were influencers that I'm like, oh, I want to be like her so badly. Like I want to see her life. And I'm like, it's not good at me. Like it's not good for me to watch that and like compare myself.
Ryan and I had this conversation last night because there's someone that I follow that I used to know when I competed, and she's like, she did nothing wrong. She's thriving, but she just like when I see her stuff, it makes me feel badly about myself.
Yeah.
And I was like I don't want to unfollow her because I like her.
Yeah.
But it makes me feel icky, and I don't know how to like gauge that. So I might muting is also a really great tool.
Oh yeah.
But it's one of those things where I'm like, it's not personal. Like, this is a me problem, but I just don't want to see it.
No. So that's on there. I didn't write that down, but I should have. Gossiping. Not even just, like, about me, but, like, about, like, anything. Like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. Don't give it to me. Like, I already said I don't gossip. I don't want to gossip. Like, if I hear it and you mention it to me, I'm going to literally stop you.
Yep, that's a big one, and something that I've actually I started earlier this year, just being intentional about engaging with it because I can't control other people. But like one of my go-tos, like whenever I'd be in a situation like that, would just be like, I try really hard not to like, talk about things that like I don't know for sure.
Yeah,
and also that like don't affect me.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, next topic.
Yeah, let's move on.
Following every trend, whether it be with makeup or hair or everything. Like I don't want to look back at my photos and be like, oh, I was like, this was trendy back in 2006. Like I want to be like, oh, like she's classic and cool. Like I feel like
she never goes out of style.
She never goes out of style. But I also feel like this is where my spending comes into thing. Like a problem is like buying things that are trendy, like buying clothes that like are gonna be out of style. Like I can't say that because I have pieces that like I'm like, oh, it's a trend, that's why I have it. Hello. But I think I'll always love these suckers. I love my Uggs.
I think that's something that I'm going to buy myself. Mm-hmm. But I was the same. See, and that's my thing is like, I'm like, okay, it's trendy, but like, let me just wait and see if I want it in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. So that's also on my list is, wait, where was it? I know I put it on there. Like impulsive purchases. Like I'm going to, make sure that I don't buy products like right away because I do that so often that I'm like, okay, am I going to want it in 2 weeks? And if I don't want it in 2 weeks, then like, don't buy it, Taylor.
And sometimes the trendy things that like everyone's ranting and raving about, you get it and you're like, I hate this.
Yeah.
So
I'm like, this is not me. Like, I bought those like moto boots and I wore them once and I was like, oh, they're so cute, but like I don't know how to style them any other way. And I'm like, I would never wear these again. I wore them to a concert and that's it. And I'm like, I spent money on these shoes and I'm never gonna wear them. So I need to be better at that. Okay. Too much time on social media, which we talked about. And it's hard because my life is social media. Like, I do social media for myself, but I also do social media for like multiple companies. So I'm constantly consuming. And I guess like I my like free time, I love to scroll TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
I really do. It's like Max plays video games. I scroll TikTok. Like, that's our thing. But I'm like, do I need to be consuming all of that?
It makes your mind a little mushy.
Yeah. I like, it's really sad when I like look up for my phone and like I can't remember anything from the past 10 seconds.
So one thing that Ryan and I we do and we are very intentional about is that when we're like hanging out on the couch at night, we put our phones down.
Yeah.
Like
I try my best.
Well, and like obviously that's not to say that we're perfect with it, but like if I'm on my phone doing something, like, or he's on his phone, like we'll be like, hey, sorry, just like doing this really quick, because the time that we spend, even though we're together all the time, it's like that's our time together. And I used to be really guilty of that. Like I would scroll or I would be like answering client messages. And Ryan was like, if you were working a regular job, like you wouldn't be responding to messages at 8 o'clock. So put your phone down. And I like that's probably been a thing for like a year and a half, but it really does help.
Yeah, I need to be better at that. Especially like, I'm like, it's fine if I'm scrolling for like an hour, but like I'm sitting there scrolling for like 3 hours. I start my
TikTok is like still scrolling.
Yeah, I literally start my mornings like Max will get up, kiss me on the forehead, he showers, and then like I sit there until he is done showering, and I scroll while he showers.
You could make it a goal to like not pick up your phone for the first
hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to do that. I'm really bad at that.
That's supposed to be really good for your
mental health?
Like mental health as well.
Yeah, I need that.
It's hard to do whenever you work from your phone though.
Yeah. But it's fine when it's like, because we get up so early that it's like no one's awake. No one's texting me that early.
What time do you guys get up?
6:30.
Okay, so do we.
Okay. Not responding is out.
I feel so attacked.
I mean, I'm going to say this in like outs for like, there's different circumstances, like not responding in the sense of like what we talked about last episode, and it's okay if you don't want to respond to protect your peace. But like there's times where I literally have messages from people I'm friends with and I just don't respond.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one for me. I'm adding that to my thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm so bad at it, and I promise it's not personal. And then by the time I remember and I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, I'm like,
it's way too late.
I'm like, I already thought I responded to you, but I didn't respond to you. I responded to you in my head.
Yep, that's me. And then it'd be awkward to be like, hey, I know it's been 3 weeks, but
Yeah. Okay, being hungover.
So out.
Like I hate the feeling of it, and like we are rarely ever hungover. But I hate the feeling of it so much. And like, I don't like feeling icky and like being a slob the next day. Like, not that you are a slob, but I feel like a slob when I'm like not productive in the morning. And like, it's always a Sunday. And like, that's the day before I go back to work and like have to get my life together. And like, I want this day to be a productive day. I just don't like it. I really think like we don't drink often, rarely ever. We obviously have the occasional margarita, but
yeah, but that's different.
I feel like maybe even waiting to like not drink, like have a margarita during the week and having one at the end of the week.
That's what we're doing. We're gonna only drink on the weekend, and even then we're not gonna like get plowed.
Yeah.
Not that we do either. Like we don't, but no. One thing that we are guilty of is like if we have alcohol in the house, like if we have a bottle of wine or like a bottle of liquor, we'll make a drink at the end of the day.
Yeah. No, we don't do that.
And it's always just one, but that's just something that we're kind of like, don't want to do that.
But I'm like, sometimes it's like, I've had our day. It's kind of nice. I really have teetered with the thought of, I mean, not because I have a problem with it, not because like I overconsume drinking, but I've really teetered with the thought of like being sober.
I've thought about it too.
And I really think sober is going to be in 2024. Because you're really seeing it in 2023, but I think it's going to be really in 2024. Just because the fact that like, I don't like the way it makes me feel really. Like it's fun when you have like a little buzz, but like I don't like the feeling of being drunk. Like It doesn't really do anything to my personality. I don't really like, it doesn't make me more fun. It doesn't make me any funnier. Like, I don't know. I'm just like, I like the feeling of not like, I don't like the feeling that I have after drinking. If that makes sense.
It makes 100% sense because it's not necessarily like, obviously hangovers suck, but when I drink too much and I wake up the next day, you don't feel good.
Yeah.
You're naturally more anxious anyways. And I get so overwhelmed and anxious about like, did I embarrass myself?
Yeah.
Did I say something I shouldn't have? And that's not a good feeling.
Yeah, I don't like the feeling my body's shutting down because I quite literally feel like my body's just shutting down on me. And I really want to work on like this year, like making my body feel good and like giving myself rest and taking time for myself, because those are two things that I do not do. Like I'm exhausted right now and I can feel myself like, not that I'm getting sick, but I don't feel good.
Same.
Like
my lymph nodes are super swollen, and Ryan was like, "Your body's fighting infection."
Yeah, same. Like I feel like I'm dying.
It's the
Not
worst.
that I
and then
really
imagine,
feel like I'm dying.
imagine like it's a Friday.
Yeah.
We go and drink. Like we're gonna feel horrible tomorrow.
Like tonight, I literally want to like crawl on the couch. I want to take an everything shower.
Same.
I
I washed my hair already.
And I haven't. That's why it's in a sleek back bun.
It looks so good
A
though.
sleek back.
That was me and yesterday, and I was like, okay, I need to wash my hair.
Yeah, no, I just didn't have time today. I was baking cookies and cleaning the entire house.
You guys, Taylor made me a cookie tray.
Not to hop off topic,
Yeah.
but yeah, I did. I made her a whole cookie plate. But yeah, no, I feel myself like dwindling, and I need some sleep. I need some rest, and like I try working out as much as I can. But like last night, I was like, Max, like I need a massage. My body's like hurting, so we went to go get a massage. But I think it's because like my body is like, I feel like I'm getting sick. Not that I'm actually getting sick, but like I feel like my body just needs rest.
Well, and I think hosting takes a lot out of you.
Yeah.
Even, like, I love hosting. I know that you probably loved hosting as well. But when everyone leaves, you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. I'm just like, and I loved having everybody, but I'm like our house is clean, like it's fine, but it's just like it takes a lot out of me. And I am somebody that like I have to recharge like by myself socially.
Same.
And so I really need that. But Max wants to work out after this podcast, and I'm just like, I don't know if I can do it. I might try to talk him out of it, but
I don't want to be a bad influence.
No, I just like I should do it because I know I'm going to feel better, and I love working out, but I know I need to do it.
Just listen to your body and take it a little lighter.
I will. But yeah, I speaking on that like sober thoughts, like sober talk. I don't know. I think I've always gotten nervous too because I felt like people would be like, "Oh, like she's no fun because she's sober," but it's like it doesn't change anything. I feel like too.
Not the people that matter. Like,
yeah.
Not say, like, I guess I don't want to say that people who care don't matter, but people will support you if they like genuinely care about you.
Yeah.
Because Rem is sober, and Rem's been sober for almost a year.
Yeah,
I
and
think.
he's fine.
And like not once were Ryan and I like, ew.
Yeah.
Like, we were just like, okay, cool.
Great. Love that
Yeah.
for you. Yeah. And I think like maybe not even saying like I'm sober is like a thing, but like sometimes I feel pressure to like drink. Not like, how do I explain this without like sounding bad? Not that I feel pressure to drink, but like if we're out to dinner and everyone's getting cocktails, or like I have a work dinner and everyone's getting a cocktail or drinking, like I don't need to also have a cocktail. Like I'm fine. Like I think I get pressured into things like that, and I'm just like, I shouldn't. I'm 27. Like make your own decisions today.
Whenever I was in prep, I wasn't allowed to drink.
Yeah.
And that was coming out of like the heat of my partying phase. And I would go out with my friends, but I would just get like a diet with a lime or like
Yeah.
a club soda or
Or
whatever.
just do like a topo.
And I would pretend. Like I would literally just be like, oh my gosh, love this drink.
I love this
Yeah.
drink for me. Yeah. I was that way when I was Miss Texas. Like a lot of my friends went to clubs, and like I wouldn't, there's a point where I did drink when we went out, but there was a point when I was like really like focused on like, I mean, I was always focused. This is coming out so wrong, guys.
Bear with us.
There was a point of Miss Texas where I was like super sober, was not drinking, was not going out. But like if I went out with my friend for her birthday, like I would not drink. Like if we were at a dinner, I would not drink. And I am that way with a lot of things, but I don't know. I feel like sometimes I get pressured into it where it's like, just one drink, it's not going to hurt you. And I'm like, but it is hurting me.
I'm like, it won't. And then the next day you're like, it did.
It did. I don't feel as great today. And
Yeah.
I think I want to get a Whoop, like not a Whoop. I had a Whoop, get an Aura ring because I want to like track all of that.
I've had I've always been an Apple Watch girl, and earlier this year I stopped wearing it because I was sick of getting texts to my wrist. And
you can turn that off.
I know, and I did do that for a little while, and then I also really wanted a gold one. I'm obsessed with yours, but I also love that this is just like
it's on your finger.
It's just I wear rings. Clearly, I wear a lot of rings, so it just gets so much information. It's so insightful.
I love it,
and also just understanding because even like I track my cycle anyways. Girl talk, and you're able to be like, oh, that's why I feel that way.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy.
I'm not crazy. I'm not emotional. It's just what's going on in my body. And then the last one that I have is buying clothes that I'll never wear. Like that's out. Like stop buying all these clothes. You don't need them.
I kind of have buyer's remorse for the Versace top that I bought.
No.
I know.
I think about
I
that top. I think about that top often.
I haven't had the opportunity to wear it enough. I've worn it once, and I'm like, every time I see it in my closet, I'm like, you're gorgeous, but why?
You'll have time to wear it. It's a good top.
She's timeless.
I love her.
She's cute. She's timeless.
She's
I have
so
one more
pretty.
out though.
What?
Mine's procrastinating. Also being late. I am the worst.
I can't really throw rocks because I'm late sometimes too. Like there's times like I'm late, but there's a lot of times that I'm always early. But
well, that's something that you have said.
It's a good thing.
You've said that you hate being late. Like it gives you anxiety.
It gives me anxiety. I like literally have a mental breakdown. I have a mentee B.
Yeah, me too. I just like I don't
She's
know
like
what it is. Well, I don't know why because I do this all of the time, and I'm like I'm stressed. I'm running late, and I'm like why like why haven't you learned? So that's a big thing for me, and also procrastinating.
I'm a procrastinator too. Sometimes I'm like I can't wait till the end.
And then you stress like usually doing the thing and like getting it done. Like you're much better off than if you wait because procrastinating is more stressful than just doing it.
Yeah. Max loves procrastinating though. He's like, he works well under pressure.
So do I.
And I do too. But like, I've actually gotten very good at it. I'm very organized when it comes to a lot of things now. But I
usually know when I'm doing it because it's things that like are important but that I don't want to do. Like I'm like, ugh, I don't even want to deal with that.
Yeah. I feel like also because I do so much for so many other people, like work-wise, that I can't procrastinate. I have to get things done.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't get things done, I wouldn't be working.
I was going to say, would you get fired?
Yeah, they would be like, sorry, we found another person that can do your job. I'm like, no!
We love you, but you got to go.
But you got to go. Yeah, no. I got to get better at that. Procrastination's out. Doing things early.
Way out.
In. You want to go into advice?
Oh,
we have
goodness.
A lot of advice from you guys.
We've got so many good ones. How do you want to do this?
You want me to read them?
Yeah.
Or you want to read? I'll read them and you can answer, and then I'll answer.
There's quite a few.
I'm getting old. Arnar. Okay. Okay, what is your advice for going into the new year with goals and continuing those goals throughout the year? For me, it's the gym/healthy eating that is hard to stick to. Okay, well, in terms of like the gym and healthy eating, I think it's important to be realistic because the biggest mistake that I see people make in fitness is that they try to do everything at once and it feels overwhelming. Start with one thing. So, and usually nutrition is the hardest for people. So I would say start with the gym and start going 1 day a week. Like that's it. Build upon that. And as you start to get consistent with your 1 day a week and that feels easy and part of your routine, add another day. And what that does is it allows you to build, but also meet yourself where you are instead of like, okay, well, I'm going to go to the gym 7 days a week. And automatically you're going to be like, I can't do that. I give up. You'll get burned out so easily. I think too, also with nutrition, like when I start dieting, like when I know I'm going to start cutting down for like pageants or modeling or whatever, I start slowly. I don't take things out all at once. Like I don't just like cold turkey this. I will slowly, like I'll make better habits where I'm like cutting out like a sweet treat or I'm cutting out all these carbs or certain sauces or like with Chipotle, like getting tortilla or getting chips. Like I cut that out. Like I'll stop getting guac and like I slowly make these changes over time and like start adding things in where like make me feel better or like start adding in cardio and either adding in a walk or something. I feel like slowly taking things out and slowly adding things that are better for you in is the easiest way to go about it, because I feel like when you do go at it cold turkey, sometimes you can get overwhelmed and burned out, and that also is like one of the reasons why you stop doing it, because you're like, I'm just so tired of going to the gym every day. And like, listen to your body, like intuitively eat, like do things that are better for you. Like, don't just try to rush into it. Take it slow. I know, like, too, like, I get nervous going to the gym, like, especially like when I first started like my fitness journey with modeling. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. I was like just going to the gym, and like I had to like slowly, like I would get intimidated, even like going to Alpha Land. And I'm like, I do fitness with all of y'all, and like I work out all the time, but like I get so intimidated going in there. But like everyone started somewhere.
Yeah, that's really, really, really important to remember. I also think with nutrition, we often think, just like you said, like, I have to start taking things away. Instead of doing that, start adding. Like, okay, well, I'm just going to have more protein, or I'm going to have more fruits. And like when you look at it that way, it doesn't feel as daunting.
Yeah, 80-20.
Yeah, exactly, 80-20.
80-20, baby. Okay, how are you setting individual goals while still making goals for you and your partner?
Well, I know I can't speak for you guys, but Ryan and I, we've like shared some of our goals, and like I know for him, we're like holding each other accountable, because you're less likely to stick to something if you keep it to yourself, because if you break the promise that you made to yourself, like you almost justify it, like nobody has to know that I said I was going to do that.
Yeah.
So the moment you start telling other people, you're much more likely to show up and do it. So Ryan and I are telling each other. I think that Ryan's even doing like a contract and like with himself.
I love that.
So I might do the same thing.
I love that. Yeah, I think like just staying accountable to your goals, like setting out timelines for yourself is a great one. And then like also having goals with your partner, like it is great to keep each other accountable, and like walks. And like when Max and I are both dieting, like we don't force each other to do certain things, but like say if he wants to smash 2 bags of sour strips, I kind of remind him like, no, like we said we're going to do this, like we're not going to do this, like we got to stay tough, like just checking in with each other, holding each other accountable. And like just because like you have to make time for both things, because both things have to happen. So you make time for yourself and you make time for your partner.
That's huge.
1,000%. Okay, this one's a good one. I'm madly in love with my boyfriend of 6 months. We just had our first big fight, and it really rocked our boat. Our relationship feels fragile now. Do most relationships hit and make it or break it point around 6 months? How can I help him feel more certain about us again?
Oof. Okay. So I think first and foremost, it's really important to remember fights happen. Like couples fight. And I think that first fight always feels like the end of the world, because you've never experienced that before. But I also think, and you know, I don't want to speak, I don't know your relationship, but I think that if one argument or one disagreement or fight causes him to not see what he has, or like maybe change his mind, maybe like I wouldn't want someone to question me just because of one argument. Communication. We talked so much about communication in the last episode. I think that sitting down and having a conversation, as uncomfortable as it may be, about like what went wrong and all of that is really, really important.
Yeah, I agree. I think also just checking in, and like something for me that's very, very important. And like when I had struggles in past relationships, reassurance is everything. And you can reassure them as much as you want, because I feel like that really just makes you feel better about a relationship. But also give your partner grace. Like, it's not going to be perfect in a day. Like, Noah didn't build the ark in a day.
No.
The Egyptians didn't build a pyramid in a day. Like, give your partner grace when it comes to like healing and processing things, but like allow him to know, like, I'm going to give you this time to heal. Like, I understand that we had this issue, but like, this shouldn't be the problem that like crushes us. Like, we should be able to talk it out, get through it, and like build up from it, because I feel like there's a lot of growth that can happen from that, and like a lot of strength that can happen from like being able to work through a big issue. So just allow him to have grace too in that time period.
Well, and you also, like, he might be feeling the same way you are. Honestly,
check in.
Because she said boyfriend, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What you said to us, maybe say that to him. Like, I am so in love with you. Like,
Yeah.
let's get through this. I think that oftentimes we overthink to the point that it's like, just tell him.
Be vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Allow him to be vulnerable, and he may not react the way that you want him to, and that's okay. Like, but you have to understand, like, you did what you needed to, and you talked to him and like gave him the time and gave him the grace. But again, like, it's a tricky situation because things happen and people will get angry, and this probably won't be the first time it happens. It's gonna happen again, but you have to like allow yourself to show up for yourself and your relationship.
And all you can control is yourself.
1,000%. Okay. It says, do you make New Year's resolutions? If so, do you give yourself grace as things change throughout the year?
I am not a New Year's resolution person per se. I think at the end of the year, I like to reflect and think about what do I want to take in. Kind of like we did this whole episode. My problem with New Year's resolutions is that I think a lot of people put way too much pressure on themselves.
Yeah.
So I just like to kind of reflect and think, okay, what went well this year? What didn't? How can I make those things go well next year? And then what was the second part? How?
Do you give yourself grace as things change through the year?
Absolutely. I think you should always give yourself grace.
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
But be honest and realistic about
like
why those things maybe aren't happening.
Yeah. I think too, like, say like you want to lose weight. Say like you're like, I want to lose 20 pounds by the end of the year. That's great. But like maybe change it from like I'm going to lose 20 pounds to like I'm going to live a healthier and happier lifestyle. I'm going to make changes to make myself feel happier, and that may include losing weight. It may include like eating better or listening to better podcasts or taking in like information better, whether it be like reading or whatever it is. I find like when I try to make a New Year's resolution of like I'm going to do this year, it always ends badly. And like allowing yourself to just be like, oh, I have a goal of like having a happy and healthy lifestyle is a easier way to like take on the challenges that you want to do. And like that's a more broad scale kind of goal to have where you can do check-ins throughout the year. And like there are obviously times in the year that are going to get rough, and so like allowing yourself to have those moments like today where I'm like I don't feel my best, but like I want to go to the gym because I know I have goals I want to hit, but knowing that my body doesn't feel good right now and allowing myself to have that time to like feel better, because in the end like that's going to help you get to the bigger picture.
Yeah, I also I think a big mistake that people make in terms of like goals and New Year's resolutions is they're so like, yes, your goal should be specific, but like I'm going to lose 50 pounds this year. Like that's entirely out of, you can't control how much weight you're going to lose. So instead, just like Taylor said, like I'm going to walk more, I'm going to move my body more, I'm going to eat healthier, because those are things that you can actually control. And if you lose weight, it's like it's the byproduct of the actions that you're having. I also do monthly goals. I set 5 goals for the month based on my new like goals for the year, so that it's like digestible.
Yeah. Okay. Not settling and knowing your worth. Advice on that.
I think it's really hard. I don't know that. Take it away, sis.
Okay, so with this one, I had to learn a lot, and it took a lot of self-reflection, getting to know myself, getting down to the nitty-gritty. And one of the best ways I did it was really being true and honest with who I am and what I am and my characteristics and my flaws, like the good things, the bad things. I'm extremely self-aware because I am aware that I have these problems. I'm aware I'm a control freak. I'm aware that I'm a perfectionist. Like I'm aware of all these little habits that I have. And yes, I have those, but that doesn't make me any less than, you know? I have these little things about me that make me who I am. A lot of the things that I learned was through faith, and like God made me a certain way for a reason. I am the way I am because of God, and he made me perfect in his image for a reason. So not pulling myself down because I have a scar between my eyes, or my face looks a little puffy, or I have under eye bags, or my legs aren't as skinny as I want them to be. And like these are all things that I can work on like and change, but like God made me a way for a reason, and like why would I ever want to change that, you know? Like obviously I want to look better and be happier and healthier, but it's like getting down to like knowing who you are and being okay and being uncomfortable with who you are in order to like kind of have that respect for yourself. Like don't disrespect who you are because you're not happy.
Well, I mean, it's a sure way to continue not feeling good in yourself or knowing your worth. I think self-awareness is the biggest takeaway that I can say.
Yeah.
Because it's allowed me, just like you said, to be like, you know what, I'm not perfect, but that's okay. Because I want to go, self-awareness is so in for 2024. Yeah. I can't stand when someone isn't like self-aware. And it's because I am so like brutally self-aware of my good qualities and my bad.
Yeah. And then it says not settling. And I guess just not settling in life and in relationships. It's like, why would you want to go through life unhappy? Like, why would you want to go through life stuck in a place where you aren't happy or feeling your best? Like, I would never want to do that, especially with relationships. Like, what, like, you're sacrificing yourself for somebody else. Like, yes, you may love this person, but you're settling for the way that they treat you or the way that like you feel because of them. Like, if you have that questionable moment where you're like, I don't know if I want to be with this person, like, you don't want to, like, sit with that thought, think about it, like, discuss it, go through it with yourself and like kind of understand it a little bit better to like know what you want to do next.
Yeah, and I think also in terms of settling, because I've in the past been really guilty of this, is I didn't want to deal with the discomfort of upsetting other people. So I was just like, everything is fine. And regardless of what you choose, you're going to like, do you want to be uncomfortable because you stayed, or do you want to have a temporary moment of discomfort because you decided to do what was best for you?
Yes. 1,000%.
Oh God,
yes.
you looked up at me and I was like, oh God, what's the question?
This one is one that makes me very uncomfortable, but I'm going to answer it because I'm already on it. It says, for Taylor, was it awkward for you first? Well, you can answer this too. Was it awkward for you first talking about finances with Max? Or did he lead much of his plans on how he thought things should go being in a partnership with you? Anticipating this conversation in my current relationship and unsure how to approach. Thanks. Love you two so much together and watch his vlogs and congrats on the engagement. Well, thank you. Glad you watched the vlogs. This was definitely an uncomfortable conversation for me. And I had this conversation with Sydney because I was so uncomfortable and I didn't know what to do. And I was like, did I overreact? Did I underreact? Like, what do I do in this situation? Because I never really had a partnership where we ever talked about finances. And like, I mean, we're not in bad places financially, but I never grew up talking about finances. Like, I never grew up talking about to my parents, like, about how much money we have and like how I should spend money and things like that. And so like the financial talk to me freaks me out because I don't really know much of it. And like, Max is so financially savvy.
It's a stressful conversation in relationships, I think.
And like, I am successful, but like, I don't have as much money as Max. Like, I will never have as much money as Max. And like, I always get worried. Like, this is one of my problems is that I worry that he thinks that I have more than what I have and like expects me to have more than what I have. And like that I'm not going to like, I feel like my worth and value is put on me by like this financial number. And like, I'm doing well for myself. Like, I'll give
She's
myself,
not like,
no, like I'll give myself that I am doing very well for myself. But like, I worry and stress that like he is so successful and so like, this is just like how we talked about earlier, like even with business and like our friends, I was like, I don't feel adequate enough, like, because I don't have a business and I'm not like this successful like entrepreneur. Like I don't relate to that. Like, and I worry like and it's such a stupid, like saying it out loud. I'm like, it's so stupid for me to think about this and like be like, oh, like what I'm worth and my value and how much money I have is like, and how much I make is like based off of like who I am and my value. Like that's not okay. Like I shouldn't think like that. But I don't like it because I don't want somebody to tell me all the things that I'm doing wrong with my money and what I should be doing. And like, I don't want you to judge me based on like what I spend my money on and like what makes me happy. Like, I don't like that because it's like, maybe I shouldn't be spending as much money as I am, but like, and I don't spend crazy amounts of money, but like there's certain things where I'm like, maybe I shouldn't be spending like $300 at Sephora this month. This is just like an
example.
An example of what like is like going on in my head, but it's not like, this is not factual.
She doesn't have her bank statements out.
I don't have my bank statements out, but I can promise you probably did spend $300 this month.
We've all been there.
But that's just because it was Christmas, you know? But I think I get uncomfortable because it's like, I feel like he's going to judge me based off of like my money and like my value. My worth is based off my money. And I'm like, that's so stupid because it has nothing to do with that.
No, but I do think it's a very, very normal and human experience for that to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Finances are the number one reason for like struggles in relationships and fights.
Divorce.
Yeah.
Yeah, finances. And I mean, honestly, it's probably better to talk about now than later. And like, obviously, like we are very open with like our finances, like leading into our marriage. Obviously, like we're gonna like, I am not afraid to show him my bank statements. I'm not afraid to show him like everything that I have. I'm not nervous about that. I think just the thought of it freaks me out because I never grew up talking about it, and like my parents never shared that with me, and so it's like I don't want to be judged. I don't know.
No, I get that.
It's weird. I
get
like anxious. Like it makes me sick to my stomach. I started crying.
I remember you talking about that because I was like, because I'm somewhat the same way where like I'm like I don't want to do that. I don't want to talk about this. But Ryan and I a long time ago kind of agreed that we're just going to keep everything separate.
Yeah.
Like it's just not something worth arguing over. And like obviously we're going to like take care of bills and stuff together, but we're not going to like merge all of our assets and money.
Yeah.
I don't know. People that might be like a really thing. Like people are like, oh my God, what? But it's just like to us, we kind of share everything anyways. And like
that's how we are.
His money is his money. My money is my money. And then the things that we have together, we'll do together. But it's just not worth the stress. And like we've had conversations about finances, but like, I don't know. It's just one of those things, but it's like not worth arguing over. So like if it's necessary, we talk about it. But other than that, we're like,
we haven't like really truly, I mean, we have talked about it and like we obviously know our plan for like when we get married. But no, I think it's normal to have anxiety about it. But like set your boundaries, talk about it, maybe explain that you feel anxiety talking about it and say like if we can make it simpler, like I need to be in a safe space to do this.
Yes. I saw that question.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh God, she's going to hate this. I was like, should I delete it?
No, it's fine. I'm okay talking about it. Okay. I need to start waking up earlier in 2024. I have chronic issues of being late to work, and nearly all my problems could be solved with just waking up on time. Advice: go to bed earlier.
Go to bed earlier.
Stay off your phone at night.
Don't set multiple alarms. I know that that's like a lot of people like to do that. I'm guilty of it myself, where you want to set like, oh, I'm going to set like alarms every 5 minutes so that I can snooze them a little bit.
No.
Because you're asleep, so you forget and you keep snoozing. I would even recommend maybe putting your phone like in a different room because it forces you to get out of bed.
Okay.
That's a big one.
I love just waking up, and like something I find that wakes me up the most is like when I drink a glass of water, like right when I wake up, wakes me up, and then also getting in the shower. Immediately when I
showers wake me. Yeah, that's a good one.
As soon as I wake up, I go to the shower. Like, not anymore now that Max and I live together because he's in the shower first. And I don't know if y'all know, like Max has gotten better, but hates showering together. And like his shower time is like his time. He loves it. So like in the morning, I let him shower by himself, and I don't like get in there. But like if I need to wake up, I'll get in the shower immediately and wake.
That's a good one too. And like cold, you could do like a little chilly.
Yee, maybe not, but I'm like scalding hot showers. But yeah, I think also like, yeah, I love them.
Brian's like, it's like hell.
Literally, Max is like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, it's so nice. Yeah. Especially when it's cold. But yeah, no, I think going to bed earlier and like don't like start waking up like an hour before, like start with like increments of time.
I was going to say that's a really good one. Like start getting up like 15 minutes earlier, 10 minutes earlier. And once you get used to that, do 10 more minutes.
Yeah. It's like, but it's a pattern. Like Max and I, like, there was a moment where we started waking up, like I started waking up at 5:50 and I hated it. And I was like, oh my God. And it was like 3 weeks that I would wake up at 5:50 every morning. And so it's like a pattern. You just keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. And it gets better and it's so much easier. It just comes naturally.
I do a thing called habit stacking with my clients, which you could use too, where I tell them like, if you're trying to go to the gym in the morning and you need to get up early, set your phone in a different room. If you have a coffee maker and you can like set it to start brewing at a certain time, I think they have those like, settings. Set it so that when your alarm goes off, your coffee starts brewing and then you smell the coffee. It like basically stacks different things so that your life is easier in the morning.
I agree. I love the smell of coffee in the morning. Okay. Boyfriend of 4 years is moving to another state because of work. I'm happy for him, but planning to join him within the next year. But I've never moved out of state before, and I'm very nervous for the change and leaving friends and family. Any advice? Don't be nervous.
I don't think you should be nervous. She said she's meeting him in a year.
Yeah, and moving out of state. I mean, I would say like when you go visit now, like, oh, my leg. Guys, I'm falling asleep over here.
Taylor's unwell.
I'm unwell. Okay, so dating somebody out of state or like in a different area or different friends, like it's hard and difficult, but like take those times to like if y'all go out to get drinks or you go out to dinner, like if you go to the gym, like start making those routines and like friendships now so you have them when you move there.
Bumble BFF.
Yeah, Bumble BFF. I've never used it.
Neither have I.
I'm like, but you can always try that. But when it comes to like leaving your friends and family, like especially when I was like in Dallas and my family's all in Houston, which is like it's only 4 hours away, but I used to be like, oh, I'm so far away from my family, and I was because like I am very close and we always do things together. But just like know those relationships are still gonna be here. Like you can always come back and see them, but just be open to like new things when you move.
Yeah, put yourself out there. And maybe like she said, like explore the city before you actually move so that you're a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah, go out and visit. Like take your time, like spend a week out there, like if you're like your time allows it, like do your time there and like start building those foundations and relationships now. And it's also going to be a lot easier too, like more than you think it is. And I think it's just like the thought of leaving like your friends and family and your home is so like hard. But once you're there and you're with your partner and like you're getting to do things with him, like it's going to make life so much easier, I feel like. So I wouldn't stress so much over it.
And I would also say, just because I, like, obviously my whole family's in Ohio, so I know what it's like to be super far away. Like, have scheduled, like, FaceTime or call dates with your family. Like, my sister and I talk on the phone, like, almost every, like, Friday, Saturday. Just so that we feel, like, in touch with each other.
Yeah, I think that's very good. Stay connected to your people. Give the relationships that you need. Okay. If you spend almost 10 years with someone and you guys split up and both tried to move on but keep coming back together and you have both changed, should you try again? Haven't seen each other in person since the breakup. Oh, Lord.
Okay.
Take a deep breath.
I think that obviously every situation is different. I think why you broke up is really a really important thing.
1,000%.
I think just because you both have changed and grown, like that, maybe you'll come together. I'm a really firm believer that like people can change and that like you can make things work. However, Taylor's like, no. However, that change is in action, not just I changed.
My voice, like not me just saying it to you.
Yes, because people can say anything, and I've definitely had circumstances where people have like done wrong by me or hurt me, and they tell the entire world that they changed, but yet like the person that they hurt, like I still haven't received an apology or been like talked to about it. And it's like, okay, well, did you change, or are you just trying to prove to everyone else that you did?
Yeah.
I feel like we really got off the point of that question. I would say guard your heart and go into it with caution. But
yeah. I feel like, okay, so I have a friend, my sister. She, I'm just gonna throw her out there. Sorry. She is back together with the guy that she dated years ago, and it was a short like time relationship, but like now they're back together and like they've grown so much, and like she was so much younger, but they also like she had to go through a lot to learn about herself in order to be in the relationship with him because he was a little bit older than her. And like I do think like obviously depending on the reason that y'all broke up, like that could play a huge factor into it, but if you guys are both willing to work at it and you both want to be with each other, take it slow. Start going on dates. Start talking to each other a little bit more. Like, take it very slowly and see what happens. Like, if it's been that long and, like, you guys broke up and, like, you guys are still pining for each other and you want to be with each other, then I feel like the way I always say it is, like, everything happens for a reason.
yes,
Everything. God does everything in your life for a reason. And like, if he brings you back together again, and I always used to say this with past relationships, like if I'm meant to be with that person, then I'm meant to be with that person. Like if it's God willing, then okay. And like, you know, if you want to get back together with him, like talk about it with him, see how you feel, check in with yourself, take it slow. I wouldn't say just jump back right in, because here's the thing with relationships, like when you break up and you get back together, jumping back into things immediately the way they were always tends to happen, but like if you take time and you make actions towards certain things that you guys want and setting your boundaries for yourself, I feel like it can work.
I agree. And I do think that sometimes, especially 10 years is a really long time, it's really hard to take things slow whenever you've been with someone for that long, but it's so important to take it slow.
1,000%. I feel like I keep saying that, but I agree with everything
I said absolutely earlier.
Absolutely. Okay, advice for entering your late 20s and changing style / growing up, managing friendships, figuring out this next version of yourself in this chapter and what makes sense. And if that makes sense, LOL.
Repeat sorry. It was
advice for entering your late 20s and
20s,
changing style / growing up, managing friendships, figuring out the next version of yourself in this chapter.
I think this is something that I'm like currently going through.
So
I've just been really, first of all, give yourself grace because you're still you're figuring out all of that stuff, and be really, really honest and intentional. I think check-ins with yourself.
Yeah.
Like whether that's at the end of every week or at the beginning and end of every day, like just checking in with yourself about all of those things and being really, really intentional will help so much. I think I in this process let myself get really stressed out and just like shut down. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. I agree. I think also like don't stress yourself out thinking that you have to be a certain way or you have to be at a certain point of your life, because like everybody is different. Like, yes, I have friends that are super uber successful and have businesses. Doesn't mean I have to be super uber successful right now and have businesses. Like, give yourself time, give yourself grace, like work on yourself, obviously. But like the later part of your 20s is still such a fun year and such fundamental years too. Cause like you're going into your 30s and like I deal this with, especially with like style. Like I do want to be trendy and like I want to be cool, but I am 27. I can't wear what I wore when I was 21. And like, and like I'm dealing with this now too. I think I was thinking about this the other day. Like I'm going to be a mom at some point, like in the next few years. And I don't think I should be dressing a certain way. Like I don't think it's good for me. And like, I find that like I am a little bit more covered up now. And like, I don't really show as much skin as usual. And like, I used to wear like I mean, I do still, but like, I used to like love to wear little crop tops and like super sexy things. So like I'm 27. Like I can still do that if I want to. I'm not a mom yet. I'm cool. And even if I was a mom, I'd probably still do it.
There's levels to it though, because I my mom always had like the nicest stuff.
Yeah.
And it was still sexy, but it was also classy. Like it was like sexy classy. I don't know.
And I should probably do more like outfit videos. I want to talk about this too, like how to dress in your late 20s.
You should do that.
Because there is a way to do it and still be trendy, because I am a very trendy girl. Like I'm literally wearing like big baggy boyfriend jeans, Ugg shoes, like scrunchy socks, and like a little crop sweater. This is my grandma's sweater. But there's a way to do it. Like you could still be cool, and like changing your style is fine. Like it's okay if you feel like you shouldn't be wearing crop tops anymore, or you shouldn't be wearing like distressed jeans, or like there is a way to wear it or a time to wear it. Managing friendships, I think in your 20s, early 20s is so different than managing friendships in your late 20s, because in your early 20s, you're friends with everybody. You're getting to know people. You're getting to know yourself. You're getting like going out. You're getting to experience different things, where like you're still experiencing different things in your late 20s. But I think you're a lot more intentional with the things and people around you, because your time is a lot more important now than it was back when you were younger.
I agree. And I also think proximity has a lot to do with it, because in your early 20s, a lot of us are in college.
Yeah.
And so when you're on a college campus or, going to classes and seeing people every single day, it's a lot easier to maintain a friendship than you're graduated, you're living your own life, you're married, like all of that stuff. So again, I know you said this, but like it's you're choosing to like be intentional with that. Yes, being selective. I love it.
Be selective. Yeah. And I think it was Cher. I don't know the exact quote, but like I love Cher. But she always spits knowledge on us. But she said something about like every year is like a new chapter, a new version of myself. It's like Taylor Swift, a new era.
Me.
It's a new era. And that's okay. Like I change all the time. Like even the way I was last year is not the same way that I was this year.
That has been my biggest battle. It was one of my things on my like lessons learned and things that I want to continue to practice in 2024 is like forgiving myself for not being the same as I used to be, because we're not supposed to be, but for some reason I let myself believe like people aren't going to like me as much, or like I don't have as much value. And it's like, no, like we're supposed to change. Like, and quite frankly, I don't want to be the way I was. I don't want to be the way I was back in like a different time of my life, but like I was so hard on myself because I'm not that person anymore.
But that's okay.
Like you're supposed to be.
Yeah, it's okay to like not be who you were. Like I grew. Like it's a sign of like your growth and like your strength and like yeah, I'm not the same girl that I was at 23. Like I've learned a lot and like maybe I'm a little bit rougher, maybe I'm a little bit harder on the outside, but like I love each version of myself and you have to accept that.
Amen.
Amen, sister friend.
Hallelujah.
Okay, so this one we have two of the same question, but it is pointing towards me because I deal with this and I don't know if you do or not. But like Max and I are very open about it. But Taylor, how do you feel about being so strong in your faith and your partner not being on the same level as you? And then we got another one that says thoughts on dating men that don't have the same beliefs in God.
I think it could be a strain to date someone that was like didn't believe in God.
Yeah.
But I also am like a very much so a let people be who they are.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to try to change your mind maybe like, but I'm also not going to change mine.
No.
Like if you, yeah, I feel like that is more you because Ryan and I are very different in our relationships with God because for a long time, I was angry at God because he took my mom and I rebuilt my relationship with him in that way. But I also had a really negative relationship with people who like went to church and like, I felt like
judged.
I felt judged and I felt like all of the people, and this was, I mean, it was a blanket statement, but like the people that go to church and are like very outwardly religious, I felt like were the meanest, nastiest people. And while that can be true, I just think that like my relationship with God has nothing to do with me going to church every Sunday. And I don't like, this is very new for me.
Yeah.
And like talking to God and stuff. But it's like my relationship with God is very personal. And same with Ryan. Like we both talk to God, but we don't necessarily like hammer it down everyone's throats and like talk about it all the time with each other. But you're in a different situation.
But I think where you were is how Max is. Like,
okay.
So people assume that Max, like, and I have never watched his old videos on it, so I don't know what he said or what he's thinking, but like our conversations that we've had, we've talked about it, and like it's not saying that Max does not believe in God. He fully does. Like he believes in God, but he's like, he doesn't have a relationship with God. Like he prays about certain things where he's like, when he's going through struggles or hard times, like he prays about it, but it's not like he's not praying or talking to God every day. Like I talk to God every day. I have a relationship with God. Like I built that foundation with him going through hard times and like just the way I was raised, where Max was raised in a very religious household and like believed in God for a very long time, would go to church and whatnot. But when his dad died, he's like, how can you take away somebody that's so good and so pure of a person that like loved you, that loved God so much, like went to church all the time, like did everything right. Yeah, lived such a Christian life, like literally walked like in like God's faith. Like that's all, like that's who he was. Like it's what he was known for. And like, how can you take him away from me? And it's like, and I think he talked about it with Chase too, like where it's like, things happen in your life for a reason. And like I said this, and like unfortunately, like his dad's passing, like I think really did put a fire under him to be a certain way. And like, I'm not saying it's why he's as successful as he is, but he does a lot of the things that he does like for his father and like for his his dad's legacy, like ever forward. And everything he lives by now is like, he does it for his dad. And it means so much to me. And I think he's very, like us dating, he's really, I think, open up to the idea of God and faith and like having a relationship. And like, I'm definitely there to talk to him about anything or like talk about the thoughts that he has going on with that. And he's so like happy and open and like supportive of my relationship with God. And he would never tell me like to turn off my like worship music or like say I'm silly for believing in that, or like, because he does believe in God. It's just like he needs to work on his relationship with him. And it's like slowly, I think it's getting better and over time. But like, it's not my job to make sure he has the relationship with God. Like I'm there to help him and support him to get there, but his journey to Christ is his journey, if that makes sense.
Well, and it has to be, because to force someone into anything like that, like it's just a journey you have to go on your own. And, you know, I learned that because I went through multiple phases and You know, I think that it is really hard whenever you go through something so traumatizing.
Oh, yeah.
And
he was so young, too.
Exactly. I remember watching one of Max's videos. It might have been his dad's birthday. I sobbed because I was like, I cannot freaking imagine my mom. I was 16 when my mom died, but it happened so fast. Like she was in the hospital for a week, and then it was just like, oh, Max,
he like saw his dad deteriorate basically as a human.
I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
I wouldn't either. And it's like, I so wish that like he will be open to like having that relationship with God at some point. And I think he will be, and I really do. We even had we've had conversations. Like you have to be willing to have conversations with your partner and like make sure that it doesn't get in the way, because this is truly comes down to like your values and your beliefs, and like your values and your beliefs are what are foundations for like your relationship and to have a successful relationship. And like he knows that like I am very driven in my faith. I'm very like I'm not heavily Christian where it's like I'm throwing down people's throats all the time, like you said, but like I do have a relationship with God. I'm very open about it. I will talk about it with anybody. And like I will be open with him about a lot of things that I'm dealing with, like with my relationship with God, like how I'm feeling, my struggles, my beliefs, all that fun stuff. But we even had the conversation of like, when we have kids, like I will make my kids go to church. Like as they grow up, I want them to have that relationship with God. I want them to go to Sunday school. I want them to like build those foundations, because I think it does like make important like characteristics in your life as you grow up. And like I will never want to force them to do it, but like I want them to have that relationship and like join a community group. And I find that there's so much good in it.
There is so much good. And I do think that's a really good point too, because if you're planning to raise children with someone and you have different beliefs, that conversation needs to happen.
Oh yeah.
So, because that was the question, wasn't it? Like, how do you navigate? Definitely have that conversation.
But like set your boundaries, and like Max knows my boundaries and everything. And he even was like, I'd be willing to go to church with you. If you want to go to church, like I'll go with you. And I feel like that's such a like a
that's huge.
It's huge. Like for somebody that like people just think that he doesn't believe in God and all together, but like no, he does. But it's like I feel like that's such a big thing too. Like if he's willing to go to church with me, like that makes me feel good.
You've done something right in those conversations for sure.
I try. I like we have deep conversations about it too at night, like when we go on walks, and I'm like think about it this way, like all these things are happening in your life for a reason. Like God is putting these people in your life for a reason, like have put you here for a reason. Like you have so much purpose, you have so much value, and like it just doesn't happen just because it happened. It happened because God wanted it to.
Right. And I do think that like with my mom, I always feel really weird when I say this, but obviously I would give anything to have my mom here, but I also can look back at that and like understand, even in the moment and for years and years after, it's almost been 10 years. I'm like, I know exactly why that had to happen, even though it was so unfair. Like I know why God moved those things for me.
Oh, 1,000%.
Even though like it sucked. And to even like I say that sometimes and I'm like, I hope that doesn't sound cold, but it's true.
I love that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, that was a really deep one, I feel like, but this was a very good episode, I think.
I'm excited about it. And I do want to add, we would love to hear your goals. So if you have like
share 2020, them with us.
Share them. Anything you've learned this year, leave a comment.
Yeah, leave a comment. Tag us in your story if you have any goals you want to share with us, or like of what you're doing. We want to be there with you on this journey, and like y'all be on this journey with us. And we're so like, guys, I know this is like our third episode and we just finished this at the end of 2023, but what a way to go out. Like, thank y'all so much.
I could literally cry.
I know, like the love and support that y'all have shown through us. Like we hit 1,000 subs, which I know people are like, that's just 1,000 subs. That's a big deal to us.
No, it's huge. And I don't know, just because it happened, we did it so quickly, and because we are perfectionists, it's like I said at the beginning of this, it's just like, it's so not lost on either of us that like, you are doing this, like you're the people, and you know, we just want to make sure that you're getting like everything that you want out of this podcast, and we cannot thank you enough.
Yeah, literally, guys, thank you so much for all your love. Like, let us know down below, like anything you're feeling, whatever you guys want from us. Like, we're so happy to be doing this, and like we'll see you guys next year, and it's only starting from here. And we are just truly, like, from the bottom of our hearts, so thankful for all the love and support you guys have given us on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, everything, Apple too. But you guys are
like amazing.
Like words cannot describe.
If I could squeeze every single one of you, I absolutely would. Just
big hugs. But we love you guys. But yeah.
Yes. Also, have a safe new year, whatever you're doing.
Yeah. Be safe, please. Like, Take care of yourself. If you're staying at home, have a great time no matter what. We love you guys. Make sure you guys follow us on our Instagram. Also, our Instagram channels, like our channels. Follow us on Spotify and Apple. Rate us. Give us a 5-star rating, please. You know, it helps.
It does help so much.
Us. And then give us a huge thumbs up and make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We will be here every Sunday. We're working on a time that like is perfect for us, but thank you guys again. We love you.
We love you so much. We'll see you next year.
Happy New Year's, baby.
I wish we had like poppers. Pew. Pew. Pew, pew, pew. More ASMR.
More ASMR. This is always gonna.
I can literally see Max.
He's like, let me walk in here.
Hello.
Hello.
Dude.
Hello, dude. Come here. Tell everybody hello. Say hi, people.
Hi.
Like the episode, subscribe, tell your friends, or you're gonna answer to this. Look how jacked I look. Dang.
Gosh. That's my man, and I'm gonna stick beside him.
You better talk nice to me. I'm in your head. I invest. That's a short-term fee. Got it locked. I'm